This week, Amnesty International released a report that condemns extrajudicial killings allegedly carried out by police in Mozambique. The human rights group urges authorities there to properly investigate and prosecute the officers suspected of involvement.
And joining us now to talk about the report is Amnesty International's Africa Advocacy Director, Scott Edwards. Hi, Dr. Edwards. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, obviously, these are very strong allegations against the police, and they do deny these charges or allegations. Is there a lot of evidence to support the Amnesty report?
The report itself is the culmination of months of collecting information, looking at police records, interviewing victims and witnesses, and I don't think there's any doubt about the credibility of the report itself. And the key ask in the report is, in fact, that there is more investigations into these killings, most of which appear on their face to be illegal.
Yeah, now, Dr. Edwards, we also get reports. Actually, your report includes the information that the government has taken action against some of the police officers. 3 police officers, for instance, were imprisoned to 21 years in July, and even a presidential guard who had shot a person at a football field has also been charged to, 18 years in prison. Doesn't that testify to the fact that the government's doing everything possible to stop these kind of killings?
I'm not sure that it's fair to say that's everything possible. The report itself is 60 pages long, documents 46 killings, not just abuses by the police where somebody was gravely injured, but actual killings where on their face they appeared to be illegal. So that there are a handful of prosecutions is far short of the mark.
And then also your report talks about the victims themselves, or the families of the victims, who are often intimidated and harassed, sometimes even asked to finance the investigations into the death of their family members.
And this is part of a larger problem besides the intimidation and the harassment. Under Mozambican criminal law, under the criminal code, victims are allowed access, redress for grievances to the court. The limitations, the costs for securing counsel, the court costs associated with actually pursuing these cases is an incredible burden on grieving families.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. Edwards, we know that some of these things have also appeared in your reports in other parts of Africa. For instance, in Kenya, the extrajudicial killings after the elections of 2007. How do you kind of analyze the situation across the continent, specifically look at Kenya?
I think across the continent, and really across every continent, we see that impunity itself is a prerequisite for a number of things, none of which are good for Mozambique or Kenya. And to allow those accountable for grave human rights violations to go on without accounting for them in itself condones those acts. It perpetuates violence, perpetuates violations of individuals' rights.
A lot of accusations or sometimes criticism against a lot of human rights organizations that sometimes you highlight an issue, everybody knows about it, but what's the next step? What's the action? What needs to be done to stop these atrocities from taking place by police, by government officials, etc.?
It depends on the country at hand. For Mozambique, we are calling for the international community to support the Mozambican authorities for training and education of the police force. There are mechanisms that allow for self-defense and the protection of others. However, in most cases, the 46 that we've documented, it appears that these are outright illegal killings.
Yes.
So aside from that technical support, at very least the Mozambican authorities have a responsibility to pursue justice itself.
But just quickly, there's a recognition that there's a weakness in the systems themselves rather than just the intentions.
Exactly, and at all levels of authority in Mozambique and elsewhere, there needs to be a strengthening of those independent accountability measures that can ensure the police can police themselves, that they can effectively do their jobs.
Thank you so much, Dr. Edward Scott
Thank you.
from Amnesty International. We appreciate you coming by to share that information with us.
Thank you.